All right, let's try this again with audio. See, I just kind of quickly want to go over my Robinhood account. As of today, it's the last day of July. I had my account for about 6 weeks, and I've changed directions a few times, which is a good thing about Robinhood. It's easy to do, but it's also a bad thing because it's easy to do. I originally started purchasing dividend paying stocks and looking for really high dividends, looking to eliminate some of my risks by buying a lot of different dividend stocks, kind of like a mutual fund. Um, since then, I knew a little bit about covered calls and I researched it more. I decided just to buy positions of stocks that pay dividends that I could write covered calls on. And some of these I actually just purchased just to make money on my covered calls, hopefully, and in an ideal world. A covered call is basically just as you are selling the option at a strike price you agree on for somebody else to purchase that option. So if it hits that strike price, that purchaser will have the option to purchase your stock, but not the obligation. Meaning, if they're going to make money, they're going to purchase your stock. If they're not going to make money, you are going to keep your stock. So if it hits the strike price, then you get to your stocks get assigned to the purchaser that owns the option at the end of the close on the date you agree on. And so let's go through some of my stocks here. I've actually owned about 200 stocks, believe it or not, in the last month and a half. I settled on a system that I like. I'm not sure Robinhood's going to be the best solution for my system just because it limits my options on what I can do with selling and buying back options. So I might move this over to my Charles Schwab account or another platform, which I'm doing similar things on actually. Catalyst Pharmaceuticals, I bought one position, 100 shares. I bought this for $4.42 to sell as a, and I believe I got about $50 for the option, the covered call option, and I believe it's at $5. So hopefully this will hit its strike price at the end of the week here on the 2nd, and I will, and this will get assigned to somebody else, and I will take my gain from this stock. That's in the perfect world. If not, I will resell an option on this stock, hoping to make some more money and hit my strike price and move it on. I'm not looking to hold pharmaceutical stocks unless I knew a lot more than I do, and that isn't much about pharmaceutical stocks. GoPro. Again, I purchased the top three here are ones I purchased to try to make some money on, and I love the $5 to $20 stock price. It's just easier to move, easier to buy a position on. You could get in and out, maneuver super easy on these lower price stocks, and when they're up, they go up a lot. And so I really prefer them. I don't have to put a huge amount of money when I'm making a gamble like this, $500. So I bought a position at $5.44. It looks like it is down to $5.30. I believe I got around $25 for this when I sold my cover call option, and it needs to hit that $5.50 price. Hopefully it will by the end of the week here, and this will get assigned to somebody else, and I will take my money and purchase some other stock. AK Steel I bought a few weeks ago. I bought 7 positions of this at $2.50 is the strike price, so this will most likely get assigned to somebody else, and I will take my gain of about probably a little under $200 when it's all said and done. Not bad for 2 weeks, putting $1,700 at see, that's how much it's rated at now, because it really jumped when their earnings came out yesterday, I believe. Anyway, Capital. This is actually a stock that I purchased mostly for dividends, and this is a hold stock for me. And I kept this one because it has enough interest to sell a covered call on it. I did sell a covered call on it, and it was above this covered call for the last week or so, maybe a week and a half. It's just recently dipped below on the 31st, having a dip in the market. So I sold it for $9.50. Hopefully this will not meet its strike price, and I'll be able to keep this stock. If not, I'll look for it to dip again and probably buy it back. Nui Capital, sometimes I just I'm trying to get the most I can out of my selling my covered call, and I'm too close to the strike price. I'm just too easy to hit, and if I really want to hold it, then I should probably leave a bigger gap and take less money on my covered call option. But it's kind of what I'm doing for now, trying to take as much money I can off the table right at the get-go. Rotate, buy, sell, make money. Hopefully there will always be some losers in there, and hopefully I can turn it around and resell that option and make my money back. NYMT is another REIT, I believe. It's a trust. I believe it's a REIT. I've had this. Actually, this is another stock that I had originally to capture dividend, and I own 100 shares of it, and I was able to sell an option on it, not for much, because of sometimes the gaps are really big on these options, like $1, and for this stock to move $1, man, that's like a year's movement of it. And so I was able to get some money on an option. We'll sell an option again on this, and actually the money I make off the option is pretty close, if not more than the dividend I will make off this in a year. So that's why I will, the dividend's pretty high on this. This is a pretty risky stock. But I am trying to make as much money as I can off my, and I'm just kind of going for it, to be honest with you. Hopefully not buying stupid stuff, but this might be on the edge. But this is NYMT. Again, I'll be able to sell an option on this. I did sell one for a few dollars, but not a lot. ET. I bought this as a dividend capture stock, as well as a stock that I could sell an option on. It has a 1550 option on. It doesn't look like it's going to hit it, so I will be able to hopefully keep this stock and resell an option on it next week. It's the NRZ is one I just actually purchased. It has a decent dividend, a really good dividend actually. It's got a high buy rating. It really isn't that volatile of a stock from what I've seen over the last year and a half, but I gotta be honest, I mean, if you're gonna be in the stock market, this is a great time. Even like a moron like me can make mistakes, and because we're in a bull market, I can get my butt out of it. But the market turns around, man, it's gonna get a lot tougher for people like me trying to diddle daddle and make money. And if you don't know what you're doing, you could really lose some money. Again, this is just money that I pulled out of one saving account, another savings account. And what Robinhood is great for me is, instead of going online and buying something I really don't need, I can just throw $100 into my Robinhood account, screw around, buy a few stocks. But again, that's money I would have spent going out to dinner or buying something stupid online I don't need, or and by doing that, just in over the last 6 weeks, I put $11,000 in my account, and that's really, I've dug out a lot of my not necessarily all my savings, but my loose savings. I have a bunch of money in my Charles Schwab account, which is my main trading account, and then I have a retirement account, which is a T. Rowe Price, which is obviously not something I really mess with a lot. Just leave my mutual funds there, and I might actually start doing some trading on my retirement account if I can get a hold of this and get a confidence with it. And not all of it, just a small portion of it, and just trying to capture some covered calls. And I've actually moved over to doing ETFs instead of single stocks on my Charles Schwab account. And you don't have to worry so much about the earnings and the dividends and all that coming out in the news, stocks shooting way up and dropping. The ETF's like a mutual fund, and you can actually, it just seems like it has less, it has risk, no question, but it just has less things you have to sit there and monitor. And I'm probably going to do some of that with Robinhood. I think my problem with Robinhood is it's just on options, it's just limited to what you can do about as far as buying and selling your options back and all that kind of stuff. So at least I don't know how to do it yet. So I'm a little nervous about sending $25,000 or $30,000 in options in my Robinhood account, but I probably will end up doing it over time here. So this is NRZ. Again, I haven't sold an option on this. I just purchased this the other day. It's had a few down days, and you have to have a few up days to get some option interest. Otherwise, no one really wants to buy an option on a stock that's going south. And so Ford, I own 200 shares. 100 of it I sold at an option. 100 of them I'm holding, waiting for Ford to make a little bit of a rebound. So there's an option interest. Fiat Chrysler, I bought 200 shares the other day on the dip. It's recovered a little bit. I sold both actually options. When it was under $13, I sold an option for about $50 for a position, and then I sold the other position I think for $25 roughly for $13.50. And so hopefully neither get met, but I think I might one of those positions are going to be assigned to somebody else, and I'll end up with 100 shares. But it has a good dividend. I'm surprised this stock isn't talked about more. Probably because it's a Fiat and a Chrysler. It's got almost 6%, about the same as Ford. It's a real similar type of dividend. And I'm probably definitely going to get hold some Fiat Chrysler for the long term. And it seems to move pretty good on the option board. So probably one of that and Ford I'm definitely going to trade. I love the price. I love the $10, $12, $15 price when you're trading options. It just makes it real easy. I just own one share of the next 4 or 3, I believe. Looking to purchase a position on this, so I just own one share. About at $12.90, it's down a little bit, and I'm just trying to get a feel of the stock, dividend payout date, all that, how much dividend it pays, all that. And so I've been paid dividends on the other 2 REITs I own, I believe. And so this is a global energy ETF. And this does have, the reason I own this, I own one share, and it does have a good dividend as well as has some interest in the option market. So I bought a share of this. Power shares, a lot of the power shares do trade in the option pretty well, and selling covered calls, that is. And I own one share, probably looking to get a position of this. And Ladder Capital is my last one I own one share of, and it pays a really good dividend of almost 10%. These are Robinhood numbers on dividends. Robinhood numbers are always wrong on your dividends, so you want to go look on another site that has more recent dividend payouts. Robinhood's usually high for some reason. I don't know why. It seems like it's always high, but and so so just kind of double check those numbers with another site like Dividen.com or Nasdaq.com. But these are my stocks I own currently. Believe it or not, I've owned probably 100 different stocks that I've sold out of. Not the smartest thing in the world to do, but again, I'm trying to find my direction here on Robinhood. I probably haven't made a lot of money in my first month and a half. I mostly have stuck money in my Robinhood account looking to do that, but I am looking to make money in the future, and I think I've got the direction I want to go. Some things I'm doing in the future in my Charles Schwab, I own these 3. I own ProShares Ultra Pro. So this is an ETF, and it's a Nasdaq. I own one position of this. And to me, it's almost like, what's the difference between owning this, which is a Nasdaq stock, than owning 100 shares in my mutual fund of Nasdaq stock, doing the exact same thing. So for this, I can sell covered calls on, and the one in my mutual fund I cannot. So I can make as much as on this. If you own if you own a position of this, 100 shares, $6,500, I can make as much as $400 or $500 a month off of this. Potentially, I could lose also a lot of $400 or $500 a month, but potentially I can make $400 or $500 a month off of this one position of $6,500. Now, that over a year, with your dividends and everything and your growth, you could pretty much, you're pretty much there. You're pretty much almost at the price you paid for the stock. So the thing is about this, as I look at it, I am long on QQQ, so I'm long on Nasdaq because I have it in several of my mutual funds, in my Charles Schwab and my T. Rowe Price, and if we're in the market and you're long on the Nasdaq, if you've bought mutual funds that what's it called, that has that basically does certain markets, which I do. I have. So basically, I'm already long on this on the Nasdaq. So why not sell covered calls on it? And if it drops, it drops because I'm already holding it anyways. It's something I'm already riding that roller coaster. So I might as well sell covered calls on it and make some money as well as going up and down with the index fund is what I was looking for. So that I have that one. I have the Dow. I own a position on the Dow, 100 shares. And I'm long on this. I haven't sold these yet. I just purchased these actually on my Charles Schwab. I'm looking because it's dipping right now. It's not a time to sell option calls. You want to hit a couple of up days, a couple of green days. That's when you want to look to sell your cover call positions. This is the other one I have. So I have these three. So I have the S&P, I have the Dow, and I purposely went and found all three of Pro shares. And two of these trade every week. One of them, I think the Dow trades monthly on this. But the other ones trade weekly. And with the weekly, you're able to, seems like to me, you're able to profit more. I haven't found a ETF that does a Dow 30 on a weekly yet. I'm looking. And so right now these are the three I own in my Charles Schwab account, and I own a position of each of them. And I'm looking to, once I get out of some of the stuff I'm in and some of the trades I'm in and the options I'm in, probably going to buy additional positions on those. So kind of gives you an idea what I'm doing on my Robinhood. And if you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll put a link to a Robinhood. If you sign up for a Robinhood app, you will get a free stock. It's not usually a high dollar stock, but you get a free stock to start with. And and if you sign up using my link, I'll get a free stock and you'll get a free stock. And it just kind of gets you going a little bit. And it's really, it's super easy. You could do it. You should pull your debit card out, your Visa debit card out, and you can get going. Put $100 in there and start trading some of these some stocks that probably aren't high valued or in the $10 range, and you're off, man. That's how I started. And literally in 6 weeks, I put $11,000 in there. I was kind of surprised at how I came up with $11,000 to put in there. But basically, I just kind of moved all my savings around, and that I wasn't really just started sticking it a little bit in this account, a little bit in that account, and then I just kind of moved it over to this account and moved over my Robinhood account. I have plenty of money for emergency funds, all that kind of stuff. This is just money that eventually going to filter to my Charles Schwab account. Is where it was going to end up eventually. But also, I know I'm saving more because I'm sticking money in there that I would normally buy stupid stuff with. So if you're one of those people that love to go online and buy stuff on eBay or Craigslist or find cool stuff and all that, try this. See if you can save some money this way. Kind of do what I do. Use it as a savings account. All right, guys, that's it for now. Feel free to ask me any questions. I'll post another video coming. Maybe I'll go through my dividends I got for last month by all those dividend stocks I owned. Okay, showing my payouts. All right, take care.